So Sue Bird is one of, if not the greatest WNBA point guard of all time as of right now. Obviously, you're looking at her. There's a debate to be made, just peak for peak of Chelsea Gray. But if you're putting Chelsea Gray in the peak for peak conversation, then do you have to add Caitlin into that? I don't know. Between her, maybe Lindsay Whalen, a couple of good point guards. Teacher Penachera was a passer. But like Sue Bird, by most people's accounts, is the best point guard in WNBA history. That is what most people believe. And Sue Bird always coming to, the defense of Caitlin Clark, which is a good thing. Which is genuinely a good thing because there are a lot of people that maybe would not do that because seems to be a cool thing amongst old WNBA players to hate on Caitlin Clark. It is the old trendy thing. It is, maybe you might say, it is the trendy hoop star thing to go and hate on Caitlin Clark. But Sue Bird has come to the defense of Caitlin Clark, calling out the absolute BS list that was released by ESPN, giving the top 5 college players of all time. And in my opinion, I actually think there is an argument to be made, Stewie, over Caitlin. Because I think the argument is always there that I don't think Breanna Stewart on Iowa could have done what Caitlin Clark did. But I'm not sure, even with that argument being said, I think there's also a very good case for someone who went 4 for 4. I understand the teammates were great. 3-time National Player of the Year. And did she win 4? I think she won 4 most outstanding players in the Final Four. So that's an unbelievable. That is unbelievable. So she won. She won all 4. She was the most outstanding player in the NCAA tournament. She was a 3-time Player of the Year. We can be honest here. That there's a legitimate argument for Breanna Stewart over Caitlin Clark. I think you're arguing different things. You're arguing the winningest player versus a player who did something that no player in college basketball history could have done in Caitlin Clark. And to prove it wasn't a fluke, she did it twice. If she had just done it what she did once with Iowa and dragged them in one season, it is what it is. She did it twice. But Sue Bird talking about that. And again, in my opinion, there is the only player. I think the debate should really be, there should be a 1A, 1B for college with Caitlin and Breanna Stewart. Because they both did things that not only no one else has done, no one else could do. I don't think there's, it's unbelievable what Stewie did. So I'm not going to belittle winning every year and winning most outstanding player every year. I get it, she had a better team. And an argument could be made that, could Caitlin Clark have done that if she's on the UConn team? Sure, but she wasn't. Could Stewie have carried Caitlin Clark's Iowa team? I don't think so. But again, that's just a Hawk and hypotheticals. Anyone else other than Cheryl Miller, again, it was even a different era in Cheryl Miller. It's hard one to talk about her because she was so good, but it was an era where women's basketball wasn't close to being as good as it is now. And by the way, when Stewie played at UConn, other than maybe that first year, I'm trying to think, other than the first year where Brittany Reiner was still playing for Baylor, I'm trying to think, was there anyone that was really top tier through her couple of years in college? Chiney Owumake Stanford, maybe, I don't know. But let's listen to what Sue Bird said about it right here.
But just to touch on the Caitlin Clark of it all, listen, I think the way that I'm looking at this, no, Caitlin didn't win. It's why she's not number 1. I think going to the national championship game 2 years in a row, basically playing big in every big game, hitting every big shot in every big moment, there's something to that, clearly. Raising the level of your teams, there's something this kid is obviously special, definitely one of the greatest of all time.
And that's the thing where it's nobody in women's basketball is a better floor raiser than Caitlin Clark. And I think that type of it's an interesting one because if you can literally win at any level if you have Caitlin Clark and a bunch of disciplined players. And a bunch of disciplined, quick players. I'm just going to put Caitlin Clark, see if I can surround Caitlin Clark without another WNBA All-Star. with a bunch of non-all-stars that I think could win a championship just based on basketball. At the center position, give her Ezi Magbagor at the 4. At the 5. At the 4, give her Natasha Howard, who's there at the minute. They can kind of shoot, kind of spread the floor, but they're going to run hard and play a bit of defense. Ezi Magbagor is unbelievable. At the 3, trying to give a non-WNBA all-star that's just athletic as heck. Give her Gabby Williams. Can't really shoot the ball, but is a passable shooter. At the 2, who at the 2 that isn't an all-star do you get with her to just run and play defense and be disciplined? Heck, screw it. Even at the WNBA level, give me Kate Martin and put Caitlin Clark at the 1, and that team's a contender. And I genuinely mean that. If you have 5 athletes that play defense and are good defenders and run the floor hard and cut hard and set screens and pass the ball well and have high IQ, you don't even need another. I don't think you need another all-star. Like, Kate Martin is the ultimate role player. She is. She's a super high IQ role player, but that's all she is. Like, Kate Martin, he's going to be good for the Valkyries because she's got a good coach. But I think she was good for the Ace as well, but there were definitely situations last year where if Kate Martin had gone to certain teams, that she would have really struggled. I think if you put Kate Martin, hypothetically, on the Mystics, or heck, if you put Kate Martin on the Fever, if you take her instead of Celeste Taylor and you have her playing for Christy Sides, not only would she have not got the chance to show what she could do with Caitlin Clark, she would have been sitting her ass on the bench with Celeste Taylor. She would have been sitting her ass on the bench with Celeste Taylor, and we all know the Christy Sides would have been still starting Christy Wallace over her. But anyway, let's listen to the rest of this.
And I think when I really look at lists like this, it's kind of like, do you go based on just resume, or do you go based on, if we had a draft, who would you take?
But, like, even just resume, like, I don't care that Diana Taurasi has 2 national championships? Like, I don't care. I don't care that Maya Moore has some national championships for UConn. Caitlin Clark was better in college than both of them. Like, Diana Taurasi might not even be a top 3 player in UConn history. And she was ranked as the 3rd best college player of all time. And, like, look, Candace Parker, Tennessee were unbelievable. Caitlin Clark went to Iowa. She went to Iowa. They laughed when she said she was going to make a Final Four while at Iowa. They laughed. And she made not only 2, but 2 championship games. So resume, it's there. It's there.
And there's no way you're not taking Caitlin Clark in the top 5. And to me, there's no way you're not taking her in the top 3. So, and that's not, a knock on anybody else. I just think that's the reality of it. But just...
No question about it. I mean that. Sue Bird's on the money with that. Like, if there is a draft, it's like... And the one thing I will say is that we can't say, oh, do you take it only on resume? Because I think the only player that I think has had the resume of Caitlin Clark, like, led the NCAA in scoring 3 times and assists 3 times. I think the only player that's had the resume is Breanna Stewart. And look, if you want to go resume and Stewie number 1, fine. Genuinely fine. Like, I actually don't have any issue with that. But Caitlin Clark is a better resume than anyone else. And championships aren't everything. Especially when you've been to 2 championship games. And as a freshman got Iowa to the Sweet 16 and almost beat a freaking UConn team that got to the Final Four with Paige Beckers. Like, she was unbelievable in that game. Like, and again, she was robbed, absolutely robbed of first team All-American. Robbed of it as a freshman. And, like, it was bad enough that if you look at posts from 2021, that's all anyone could talk about was how Caitlin Clark was completely robbed the first team All-American. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the video. I'll see you guys.